All right. Well, thank you for joining me. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Everything that's wherever somebody may be watching this after we record this. And
Wherever you are.
thank you for joining me. Our conversation this morning is about podcasting, and I shared with you. Before that we're doing a series about podcasting, and this is the introduction to that. And I'm going to go ahead and bring up my and share my screen so we can get started, and let's see what happens. Let's see, share. Let's see if I can get this right.
I'm counting on you.
Counting on me too. All right, hold on. Okay, so we're talking about how to podcast today. And this is an introduction to podcasting. I'm going to go ahead and mute my phone so that there are no interruptions, and ask maybe if you could do the same.
I
And
just did.
awesome. And I am Karen P. Hanson. I am also known as the Video Lady of New Roads Video. I am an editor, and that's a video editor. I'm a photographer. I'm a voiceover talent. And because I do a few other things in the background, let's just say that I'm also a creative resource provider. So that's a little bit in a nutshell of who I am and kind of what I bring to the table. All right, so today's agenda, I'm going to be first introducing you, and we're going to have a little conversation about that. I'm going to be just discussing some of the history of podcasting and what it entails. A lot of people don't realize these days how podcasting got started. We're going to be talking about podcasting as the new biography, which is something that I believe falls directly into your court, and the basic equipment that's needed to get started. We're also going to share about our upcoming podcasting workshops that we have going on. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the history of podcasting. All right, so first we have the questions and we have the answers. So, why are podcasts called podcasts? Well, in 2004, Ben Hammersley, a columnist and a journalist, first used the term podcast, combining two words, iPod and broadcast, to reflect the initial use of the iPod for listening to digital audio content like radio broadcasts, but on demand. And this was something very, very new at the time, because having something on demand was just not out there. And then what is an iPod? Okay. Many people in this newer generation have no clue what an iPod is, because it's no people aren't using iPods anymore. But if you take a look at the graphic up in the upper right hand corner, you can see what the iPod looked like when it first came out. I believe that's like the third generation or so. It was basically a device that a portable digital audio player that people could use to listen to their favorite music or favorite radio shows and lectures. But on the go, which is same thing as on demand. So you could use it while you're driving, while you're walking, all kinds of different things on the go. And then how did people get their podcasts? Well, because people weren't so quick to go to a website and look for it, what they did was they went to a website and they signed up for RSS. And these RSS feeds were, and RSS is short for really simple syndication. The same way that they put television shows out there and you would turn on your television and you would get what was being broadcast or syndicated, you could get these podcasts through this really simple syndication. It's a web feed format that allows users to subscribe to updates from either websites, from blogs, or from hearing about it on a podcast, where to go to find it, without requiring constantly visiting a website to check for new content. So it would just come to you automatically, like how your emails come to you these days, and you just check for it. It's like, oh, wow, it's out there. And people, yes, they still do subscribe to podcasts. So who are the original podcasters? Yes, they're still with us. So Adam Curry and Dave Weiner are credited with the invention of podcasting and got it rolling. So Adam Curry and Dave Weiner used RSS along with the program Curry invented called iPodder to extract audio files and transfer them to an iPod. A little bit more about Adam. Adam Curry is a podcaster still today. He's an announcer, internet entrepreneur, and media personality known for his stint as a video jockey on MTV back in the day. He was one of the first celebrities personally to create and administer what they call quote unquote websites. And Dave Weiner is a software developer, entrepreneur, and writer known for his contributions to podcasting, blogging, and more. I believe he was more like the technical person behind it. So those
Yeah.
two people really got podcasting going. It's just a little of history for us. So, podcasting as the new biography. Before we get into that, I'm going to take us back a bit to the introducing you part. And
Mhm.
I humbly apologize for going out of order. But I want to ask you these questions.
Sure.
Okay. So, and as I've stated before, we went over these questions before, but I wanted to go over them again. They may have changed. It also gives us the opportunity to refresh our minds about where we are. Okay, so question number one. Do you listen to podcasts on a regular basis?
No.
Okay. So, since you want to do podcasting, I'm going to come off of the screen sharing for a moment and come back to this. Um, so, since you don't listen to any podcasts regularly, but you want to do a podcast, who do you think that your audience would be as you take this information out to them?
I think primarily my audience would be women
Hmm.
and women of all ages, I will say. That's who I'm gearing this to. Not necessarily women of a certain age, but women of all ages.
Okay.
But not limited to women. I want men to listen to it too because I think there's something for them to learn.
All right, that's cool. I believe before you had mentioned something about your why you wanted to do this, something about you are enough. Know what I'm talking about when you go there? When I go,
Yeah, you're talking about the I went through a period of introspection when I was in my 30s because I always felt like I was running after trying to get better. And when I got to my 30s, I had a period of introspection and I had an epiphany. And my epiphany was that I was enough, that I didn't have to strive to be better, that I was okay right where I was. And I think a lot of people struggle with that same issue. They're told by family, you need to do such and such, you ought to do so and so. And they never really listen to that inner voice, which we all have,
mhm,
which guides us. And so what they wind up doing is gearing their life towards what they've been told they need to do, as opposed to what their gut is telling them. And so that's kind of what I want to focus on is listening to your gut, listening to your instincts and going with them.
okay, all right. All right. So, are you active with any social groups?
I am
Church, book clubs, anything?
I'm active with my writing group. I'm in a writing group called Sister Scribes.
Hmm.
And for right now, that's pretty much it. Pre-pandemic, I was active in a lot of different areas. I did volunteer work for Emory. I was associated with 3 different spiritual centers. post pandemic, all of that kind of drifted away. So I'm now in the process of reinventing myself, redirecting myself. I've joined a couple of senior centers so that I can be socially active, because otherwise I just sit at home and stare at the walls. Just,
Okay. And I believe also you had shared with me on in an earlier conversation, something about being an ordained minister,
mhm,
honorary ordained minister. Uh,
mhm.
would you like to share anything about that right now?
Well, that is a point of consternation for me,
Mm-hmm.
because I've always felt like I didn't earn that title and I never pursued that title. It was bestowed upon me by my spiritual mentor, Dr. Barbara King, former pastor of Hillside International Truth Center. And I felt like I was getting so much from the church that I honestly was not brave enough to go to Dr. Barber and say, "Why did you do this?" Because I'm not interested in it. Because I felt like she would, exile me from the church, and I was getting so much from the church. I didn't want to do that, so I just accepted it. But for me, it's something that I never embraced. I'm only called Reverend Sheryl when I'm around people who have a connection to Hillside. I don't do any preaching, but I do enjoy public speaking. But I think that comes from my background as an HIV/AIDS activist and not as a minister.
Okay. But she saw something in you.
She did.
Why she gave you that
She did.
title. And have you thought of a list of topics that you would like to discuss? Because if you're going to do a podcasting series, you have to have a list. I mean, you don't have to share it with us, but have you thought of that and do you have it?
Yes.
Okay. So you've been writing it down.
Yes.
Awesome, awesome. Because once we really get rolling with this, that's one thing that you're definitely going to need. And have you thought about whether this would be just a series or would it just keep on going until you feel that okay, I've done it? Like how many episodes you think of that you'd be doing? And
You know what? I haven't reached that conclusion yet, Karen.
that's okay.
Um, yeah, because I know so little about it. This is going to be a learning curve for me.
Hmm.
Um, so the answer is I haven't figured that out yet.
Well, we'll figure it out together as we go.
Good.
And the reason I was asking that is because as you think about what you want to do, with a podcast, if people are going to subscribe to it, it helps them to know, okay, well, I should look for this to come out monthly. Okay, when it's going to come out, or I should look for this to come out bi-weekly, or it's going to be as it comes out. I just need to watch.
Right.
So that they have expectations and can know. That's why I asked that question. So
Okay.
your audience that you do acquire will have an idea. You'll have to let them know how your episodes are coming.
Mhm.
Okay. And so right now, my other question, which you've already answered now, but it was, what do you know about podcasting already?
Not much. But this is what I wanted to learn. I wanted to learn the history of it. I wanted to learn, why do people tune into podcasts? How do you draw people to your podcasts? So I'm here to learn all of that.
Awesome, awesome. And those are things that we're going to be discussing as we dig down and get deeper into the the details in
Mhm.
the upcoming workshops.
Okay.
Okay. So, and before your answer was nothing except that it was popular. So we want to get past that and into the details.
Hmm.
And on a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is introvert and 10 is extrovert, where would you say you are?
About an 8.
Okay. Okay.
Hmm.
So that's good. It's a question that I ask people to kind of know where you are because a lot of people who are introverts may not connect as well with, well, not to say they won't connect as well, but to know thyself. If you're a
Hmm.
natural extrovert, it's going to be that much easier, more, it's going to be easier to connect with people, and
Right.
because that's what you do naturally. It's one of your gifts. And right now, currently, do you have a website? Are you out there on social media?
My presence on social media is very minimal. Basically, it's just Facebook, and I don't even get on that very much. I'm not on Instagram. I'm not on TikTok.
Mm,
That's pretty much it. It's Facebook.
okay. And I'm going to make a note of that. In order to get the word out there, and we'll be discussing this in the upcoming workshops, you have to have some sort of presence, whether you do it yourself or you get someone else to do it for you. But you do have to let people know that this is out there, like an advertising thing. Again, we'll talk about that more in the workshops.
Mm-hmm.
And do you have a budget in mind for this? And you don't have to answer this on here, but it's a yes or no question, how much you wanted to invest in making this happen. And that's because and that's whether you want to invest in your own equipment, or you want to have someone else come in and help with that. Those are things that you have to think about while you're saying, okay, yes, I want to podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so go ahead.
I was just gonna say I have not. I mean, that's one of the things that I wanted to learn from these classes is what kind of equipment I need. I don't even know what kind of equipment I need, and that's going to kind of tell me how much money I need to put into this because I really don't have any idea. This is just something that's in my head,
And
and
that's
I'm trying to get
okay.
it from my head into fruition. So this is how we
Amen.
start.
All right, all right. So we're going to go back to the um the presentation,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to get that on the screen in just a moment. All right, so let's talk about podcasting as the new biography, because I believe you shared with me before that you were interested in telling your story, and that's somewhat what you said earlier. You want to tell your story, you have a lot to share, and things that you'd like to delve into. So, podcasting is emerging as a new format for biography. So you're right on time for this. This is what's happening right now. People are finding out, hey, okay, yeah, I'm a writer, but it's very easy to speak what I have to say. Also,
Mm-hmm.
with thought and aspirations, and to share. And there are basically three types of biography podcasts, of which there's the individual biographies, where
Mm-hmm.
these podcasts delve into the lives of specific individuals, often
Mm-hmm.
exploring their key events, relationships, and influences. There is the thematic biographies, where these podcasts examine a broader theme or concept through the lens of a particular person's life, such as biographies of famous people or unsung heroes, just for example. And then there's autobiographies, and some podcasts focus on the autobiographical accounts of individuals, offering insights into their personal journeys and perspectives. And I think this is where you would fall. But there's also, if you find that, hey, I like podcasting, and you say, okay, well, I've told my story and I want to tell other people's stories, that's open to you as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the three types of biography podcasts that are out there currently, and the benefits of using podcasts for biography. Well, first, it is the in depth storytelling, immersive storytelling. Podcasts provide a richer storytelling experience, allowing for detailed narratives and diverse perspectives. You can really, because we're speaking and that's a natural thing.
Right.
So, and you have direct access to subjects. For example, they often feature interviews or audio recordings of the biographical subjects themselves, providing a unique and personal perspective. Then there's the accessibility. Podcasts are easily accessible on various devices and platforms, making them a convenient way to learn. Okay. And of course, you have the RSS feeds. And last but not least, you have the in depth exploration where you can go dive deeper, explain more. Podcasts allow for more time to delve into the complexities of a person's life and their impact.
Mm.
So that's a little bit more about podcasting as the new photography. Then, and you asked it, and I have the answer prepared for you.
Of
Basic,
course.
the basic equipment that's needed. Now, the wonderful thing about this is there's not that much equipment that's needed. First of all, you need a microphone,
Hmm.
okay? And it should be a really good quality microphone.
Hmm.
We can go over more about the details of what's a good microphone in the actual workshop. And then there's headphones. You need headphones to actually listen so that you can have the clarity without outside noises. Is this really crisp and clear? You know, because
Hmm.
you don't want outside noises, you know, or if you windows open and cars honking, you don't want that. You want to keep it clean and crisp so that the focus is there. Okay.
Hmm.
You also need recording software. There's a lot of recording software out there, both free and paid. I listed two here. Outside of the others, there's Audacity, which is very, very commonly used, and it is free. It's not the easiest to learn sometimes and maneuver in, but it is free. And then there's Adobe Edition. I use that. That is professional software. Yes, you do have to pay for that. Buy a subscription these days. The days of buying their software and just having it one time are over. They now do subscriptions, but that's another story. And last, but and
What
last,
what
huh?
does that mean? Does that mean if you use Adobe Audition and you subscribe to it, is that like a monthly fee?
Exactly.
Okay, let me get a pen.
That's all right.
Hmm.
All right. And you also need a computer, either a desktop or a laptop, so that you can plug your microphone and your headphones in, or you can, and a place where you can put the software. So that's the basic equipment that's needed in order to do a podcast. Now, if you decide that you don't want to have your own and you want to go into someone else's studio, or you want to have someone come to you and do the setup for you to get started, that's also available. And for me, if someone is in the metro area and they want to get started, I can help them with that. So that's so that that doesn't have to be an excuse that, hey, we can't go ahead and just get started telling your story and putting everything out there.
Hmm.
Okay, so that's it for the basic equipment that's needed. And the upcoming workshops, just to wrap up, there's two. There's the getting started and the importance of editing. We'll start talking about pretty much all of the different things that we spoke of that would come in the workshop in that getting started, what to do, diving deeper, asking those questions, and the things that you may not have thought, that you didn't think of, is like, oh wow, I didn't think of that. Those kind of things that are like good things to know, so that you're not just putting stuff out there. You're doing it with thought and it's intentional. And then the importance of editing, why that is actually important. A lot of people will take something, they'll record it, and they'll just put it out there. And then they wonder, well, why don't people listen? What's not, why am I not gaining an audience? Why is this not clear? Some of the different things. It's important. So we're going to go over the importance of editing. So which is why you need the software and whatnot. And we're also going to have another workshop on marketing your podcast. Because if you do the podcast and you want to get out there, if you don't market it, it's not going to get out there. So that's very, very important. And I'm going to have this information available on my website. under newroadsvideo.com workshops. That page is
Mhm.
not there yet. So if somebody is seeing this, give me a chance to get it out there. But this is something new that I'm introducing through New Roads Video is the different workshops that we have. And the podcasting one will be the first of many to come, hopefully. And we will be offering a special offer on this, on the workshops for those who are following afterwards. The workshops we'll be putting out there for either the standard, which will be $69 each. You'll have 1 week access, or the special, if you get them both, they are the 30-day access where you can just watch them at your leisure over and over again and actually hear what was going on. So
Mm.
that's the power of podcasting, the master workshops, which will be available for a limited time. And I thank you for joining me for this presentation on podcasting 101, how to podcast. And if anybody is watching this on demand, I am Karen Hanson, the video lady of New Roads Video. And if you want to go directly to my website and get my other contact information, you can do so by scanning this QR code that's on the screen and get all of my contact information. So again, Sheryl, thank you for joining me today on this. Thank you for that. And we're going to end this recording. And again, thank you. Thank you for joining me today.